Scary times, it's all recording.
It'd be scary if, people were naked.
You know what? That would be scary. That's the last thing I want to imagine. Fucking hell, Luis.
You're very welcome for the mental image.
Tumblr.
Oh, God! Welcome to another episode of the Shifty Key Podcast. I am Luis, aka SpartanSloth, and today we have...
TDBTyler.
And Stuart, hello. Oh, sorry, Masshalogear. Why am I saying Stuart?
I think people know you better as Stuart in some places. I don't know.
It depends how far back on the website you go.
Tyler, that just sounded like... I don't know, are you suggesting that Stuart actually sells human or robotic parts? Dun, dun, dun.
I'm not entirely sure where that came from, to be honest.
I mean, you said that you probably know him better as Stuart in some points of the site. That was shady, dude.
How's that
what
shady?
What are you suggesting?
I'm questioning how that's shady too.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to do this. He does this typical thing every week where he tries throwing the other admin or editor that's online with him under the bus as quickly as possible. It's not going to work now. There's two British people here. We're going to win.
Shit.
And as I look at it right now on TeamSpeak, you're in a British sandwich, buddy.
Oh,
sounds like I'm about to get punched.
Whoa, probably shouldn't have started off trying to incriminate me.
Wait. You wouldn't punch a guy under recovery, would you?
You wouldn't punch a guy with glasses, would you? Just takes off the glasses. I suppose it's a bit different when you had surgery. I can't just stitch you up and be like...
Yeah.
You've been unsurgeried.
Unsurgeried? Oh God, no.
He goes back into operation and they put everything back in him that happened before. It's like, yeah, here's all your bad stuff. We don't want it anymore.
And the doc just leaves the room flipping me off like, fuck you.
Oh, like they push you out of the operating room back through the entrance.
Oh, God. But, yeah, I guess I should clarify a little bit for the audience. I had to do, like, an emergency surgery. So if I sound a little bit under the weather, or if I just start laughing maniacally at some point, probably because of the meds, well, now you know why. Just kidding, not laughing maniacally. Might get some hiccups at some point. I had some crazy hiccups yesterday.
I know you probably don't want to go too far into detail about the whole situation, but I have to ask, was it something that you had to go under for? Like, were you knocked out while they did the surgery? Or were you awake?
I was knocked out as shit, dude. Like, the doc that gave me the anesthesia, he injected something. Then they helped me sit down, and that's the last thing I remember. Then I just remember waking up with a massive cut on, like, the area that needed surgery, which was near my coccyx. I guess that's how I pronounce it. I don't know.
Is it important to remember that one's pronounced coccyx and it's not near your cocks?
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, near my coccyx. And so yeah, I was knocked out like shit, dude. It was weird.
And there was a funny looking scar by your kidney. No, I'm joking. But did you get the typical thing when you wake up? Where your like vision is super blurry and it feels like a Hollywood movie. You know, like you wake up and everyone's looking over you like, I think he's going to be okay. I had that when I had my tonsils out. It was weird.
I mean, I had this thing when I woke up and then my mom was near my hospital bed and she was like, oh, he's up. And then later on my dad showed up and then my sister. But I don't think anything weird happened while I was out. But I do have a story. Back when I had to make an exam. I don't remember the name, but it's like they insert a camera into your stomach, so they can see if everything's alright or what is going on. And I had to get knocked out for that as well.
I believe that's what they call a colonoscopy.
Yeah,
oh no, that one's through your butthole.
Oh, that was gonna be my next question. Like,
No,
did
that
you get
one...
your stomach through your ace, so to speak?
No, the camera was through my throat. So,
Whoa, hardcore.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Shut up, Tyler.
Tumblr! Sorry.
Don't. That's a perfectly normal medical procedure. It's not like I was deep-throating the camera. God damn it. I took it too far. But anyway. So I had to get knocked out for that. But it's weird because I wasn't exactly knocked out. Like, I was a quarter awake or something. I don't know. I do remember that after the procedure was done, my mom took me to the car. Like, they needed to drag me across the street to put me in the car because I couldn't walk by myself. And then she put me in the car seat and she asked, "Honey, do you need anything or whatever?" And I just remember that I had my face turned to a side. And the only thing I remember saying was, "Grape juice!" with this voice. The questions voice,
Oh my
like,
gosh.
Grape juice! And then I wake up in my bed at home. I go to the kitchen and I see a box of grape juice half drank. And I was like, how the fuck did this get here?
It's like you've been drinking.
I don't remember how it got there. It was really weird.
That's nutty. It sounds like you were like partying or something. It's like drinking alcohol and then you just passed out and woke up with the grape juice box or something by the side of you and you're like, how did that get there? I don't know.
I should stop drinking in seasons, I guess.
But yeah, it sounds like you've had a fun time with surgeries. That's
Oh yeah, tippity top. I mean,
I hope you recover all well and good in the upcoming weeks, I believe, isn't it? How many days have you got to recover?
41, I believe.
Yeah, according to the doc, after I did the surgery, it would take me 4 or 5 days tops. But I do hope it takes me less than that because the worst part is actually the recovery. Because during the surgery, like, you're knocked out. So, they're going to remove whatever or fix it whatever they need. That sounds really wrong again.
They're going to remove whatever.
It might be the Frankenstein monster. They start just putting arms on him and they put an organ up there and just like, oh, this guy can do an extra heart. Doctor Who.
They're like, I wonder what else we could sell.
Now, when you wake up, did you find any of their instruments inside of you as well? Like, was there like an extra scalpel? Did you have like some gauze wire in there?
Did you walk past the metal detector and it went off?
You can't go through airports now anyway.
Nothing happened so far, so...
Not yet.
I hope not.
He's going to fart and a sponge will come out.
Now, where did that came from?
Oh, gosh. Just... this is kind of harsh on doctors and stuff that have probably done their jobs really well, and we're just sitting there like, well... I just
watched too many medical programs where all the things go wrong because I'm like that with air disaster programs as well. I just watch them too.
Oh, I'm avoiding those like the devil avoids the holy water, dude. Like seriously, I see something like fucked up stories from the ER, and I'm like, no, nope, stop.
And it would be even worse as well if, like, the exact surgery that you went through was one of the surgeries on that show, and you're just sitting there, like, trying to change the channel really quick, because it's like, no, not the thing I've gone through. But it sounds like the worrying stage is over, so to speak. Like, the bit that could have gone wrong, done with. You have to worry about that later. I mean, you don't have to worry about that at all. Now Luis is panicking. Should probably scare him away from his own podcast.
If I could be moving a lot, I'd probably be in the corner of my room, like in a fetal position, crying.
That would be painful, especially if the surgery was on your coccyx.
Yeah, that's why I said if I could be moving a lot, which I can't.
I just meant like the fetal position on its own sounds really difficult to get to.
Yeah. But hey, speaking of hospital stuff, apparently TJ somehow got pepper, like black pepper sprayed into his eyes.
Now, you're going to have to send me a link to this because...
Okay, I'll try to find the tweet again.
Literally, to explain to the audience, as we were preparing to record for this, suddenly Luis bursts out laughing and he says, well, TJ just experienced what it's like to be pepper sprayed. And I was just sitting there like, what did he do? Like, because it sounded really incriminating, almost like he's done something bad and someone had actually pepper sprayed him. But obviously not the case. I just realised...
so there are 2 tweets.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna get them. Hold on.
Revamp in the meantime, like da 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 la da 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 la da 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 da. Oh, there's one link.
Yay. That's the first one. He mentioned he got pepper sprayed, and there's one of the picture.
I just have to say, TJ, if this is what you get up to when you're not on the podcast, I'm sorry that you didn't get on this podcast today because of your internet.
Oh, damn, that is one red eye. Oh, man.
Holy
that looks really bad.
shit.
That looks... Oh, no. Oh.
It looks like he's been punched. Like, it really does look like he's been punched.
I'm almost calling bullshit on the pepper story.
I mean, if we can somehow... TJ, you're going to be editing this video, hopefully. Put that picture of yourself in the podcast, if you don't mind.
I'm leak shitting that.
Yeah, but
by the way, just explain, Stuart, our link dump is called the link shitter, so, you know.
Intuitive. Very smart, Louise.
That is a very, very clever name. I mean, to be fair, at least with the link... no, wait, what? Okay. No, I was about to go to a completely different avenue. I was like, wait, no, that doesn't work. I'll forget the point. And I went to go say I was just going to forget the point, and I completely forgot what the point was.
So you forgot about the point that you were going to say you forgot about?
Yeah, basically.
It happens on these things. It does.
I'm so smooth behind the microphone sometimes. It's unreal.
Yeah. Evidently.
I'm just over here. I'm just over here. I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna make a point. I've forgotten the point. What's the point? I don't know. Well, I'm gonna forget the point I was gonna forget. Cool. Nice one, brain.
You don't have to worry as well, especially on this podcast. I mean, the amount of times we derail a topic with stuff like that, and end up getting our way to a better topic that's funnier. It's really bizarre sometimes. I mean, Louise does it all the fucking time. So, if he can get away with it, then you can.
Your face does it all the time.
Oh,
Ayo, fucking got me. Cooler presses. Don't tell Tumblr. I mean, sorry, I just really want Tumblr to, like, I want, like, a small fan base of Tumblr to just listen into some of the stuff out of context.
Why?
And just go crazy. Because, like, I would love a fanfic to be written about half the stuff that you say. Especially on this podcast, it can get taken out of context. Yeah, because some of the stuff you say, like, if you just listen to, like, one sentence of it without getting the rest of the story, you sit there and you're like, what? The last podcast was a perfect example of that. Like,
well, I did mess up. I think it was the day before my surgery. I was watching one of Jordan's live streams, and some person suggested that she did something like on camera, like a special effect or whatever, every time she managed to get killed in a funny manner or blow herself up or whatever. And then she started, well, but I never got myself blown up. And then I just typed like, well, there's always a first time for blowing yourself, but I meant blowing yourself up.
Oh my god, Louise. Wow.
Yeah, that was a thing.
Shout out
and
to
then
Lovely
she corrected
Sims.
me. And then,
Oh, good.
And I realized my mistake.
It's a good thing that she knew you, because if you were just like a random user that like just found her stream for the first time, that would have been like a very awkward message to come across.
I would have gotten kicked out.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
would. It wouldn't have just been awkward. There would have been the moment where she looks at the camera and then looks back down at chat and looks back up the camera, looks back down at chat and just goes, "Really?"
Followed by you not seeing anything anymore because you've just been kicked from the thing.
But really, like, I didn't mean to do that. So, Jordan, sorry again.
Shout out to Lovely Sins. I mean, I hope the stream's still going well as well, because, of course, that's been doing good. But I think with you being on there saying stuff like that, it's only going to decrease the quality of the people. It's going to attract more people that are going to accidentally have loads of innuendos. Luis, what have you done?
Nothing.
See, now it's your turn to try and get thrown under the bus,
Yeah.
so to speak.
How much of the bus can we run Luis over with before it's just too much? It's like, how much of the bus can we just ram over? It's like, yeah.
Dude, the bus has like infinite wheels, so
Yeah.
there's no stopping the bus.
I think almost every person that's helped Luis run this podcast has been run under the bus at one point or another for an extensive amount of time, depending on the mood. But I don't think Luis has been thrown under the bus for that long, in comparison to me.
I mean, no, that happened. I mean, not as much as what happens to you or
exactly.
Vic. And by the way,
Vic.
I really miss recording with Vic because, I mean, yes, I miss her because she's a great person and all that, but it was fun throwing her under the bus.
Gee, I wonder why she doesn't record with us so often. Maybe it's because she gets thrown under the bus for hours on end.
Nah. No, for real. It's because of, stuff, job and all that.
Yeah, people are busy. I mean...
Right.
Yeah. People are always busy. You're saying, right, working. Technically speaking, you haven't been that busy. You've just been recovering.
I know. That's
mind you, I can't really take the piss, can I?
working.
That's not working.
That's sort of working.
That's trying to do as little work as possible to recover.
Which, trust me, for me, is a lot of work.
It's anti-work.
Yeah, like the first day after the surgery, I could not stand the idea of just being, like, not even sat down, but laying on my belly.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm like, okay, I gotta go to the kitchen, grab a cup of water. No, wait, we'll get it for you. I can fucking walk to the kitchen. I can do that. Don't worry.
I can walk. I can't just sit on my ass all day.
Dude, it's really getting on my nerves.
No, you're right. He can't just sit on his ass all day. What he can do, though, is he can go up, get to the kitchen, get food, and then he can go sit on his ass.
I heard it's a real pain in the backside. But
did you ever know you're the real butt of the joke?
What?
Butt of the joke, ass, we were going down bad puns for... Oh, never mind. You guys crack me up.
I'm concerned when it gets a bit punny up in here, I'm never good at puns. Yet some people can just fire them off left, right, and centre, and I'm just sitting there like, oh, I wish I could join in and be looked at awkwardly. Yeah, that's the thing with puns. Every time I do them, people look at me and they're just like, get out.
Aww.
I always feel ashamed.
Like, no.
Tyler, you need to fake it till you make it. Like, be confident about your puns.
It's funny because I can be confident about literally everything else but puns. There's always that little feeling in the back of my head that was like, why did you do that? What did you just accomplish?
You must search the pun within, Tyler. And once you accept the pun within, you can nail it.
Understandable. No, that was a forced one. I'll leave.
See? Get the fuck out of my podcast.
See? Oh, sirens. Wait a minute. Sorry, this is not professional at all. Luis, what did you do?
I don't know. The sirens are there on your end.
Oh, God. They're loud. That was coming from Luis's mic, everyone.
Every time a siren goes off on your mic, I'm like shit scared that it's probably your fire alarm going off.
No, the fire alarm.
And you're gonna have to interrupt the recording.
Well, here's the thing: I can just step away and just be like, "Great fire alarm," and disappear for like half of the fucking recording because that's how long it takes for these things to get resolved over here.
Oh yeah, not to mention you putting on your quote-unquote dressing gown.
I swear to God, I'll never live this down. Oh, wait a minute. I've got someone from Britain here, so I can defend myself over this fucking point. Stuart,
Yes.
you call them dressing gowns, right?
Yeah.
See?
Bathrobes, dressing gowns, they're all damn the same thing at this point, aren't they? So,
But over there, it's like a form of like, a woman's robe, so to speak.
yeah, that's the other way of that's the other term. Dressing gown is also a very, very fancy piece of clothing that you wear to like balls, and because you have a ball gown, so it's a dressing gown.
Yeah. So when I say
Stuart
dressing
agrees
gown,
with me, Tyler. It's shit.
it means both of them, but clearly I wouldn't be wearing a woman's fucking dress, would I?
I don't know. You
Well-
might step outside one day in the very, very brash English weather, and all of a sudden just be like, "Look at my lovely blue dress I've got on." And everyone's going, "What the fuck's this problem?"
Trying to rock it, like just trying to be confident with it as well.
You go
like-
out dressed like Cinderella. You got your crystal slipper. You got your glass slippers on. You're like, "I'm the belle of the ball."
Tumblr, don't. To be honest, though, like I don't have that kind of dressing gown. It's obvious that I got the
Sure you don't,
regular robes, so to
To be
speak.
fair, I mean, you've got a dressing gown. By the sound of it, I've got a dressing gown. I also have a onesie. So
See, onesies are totally fine, Louise. Dare to start on onesies? I mentioned I had a onesie on another podcast, and Louise would not fucking live it down and tried throwing me under the bus again.
The name is funny.
the thing is, I've always found out, I've always wanted a one. Ever since I've seen one, I like the idea of just waking up and putting on very, very minimal amount of clothing. I'm like, well, if I could just put on one giant piece of clothing, that's great. And then it was like my workplace started selling onesies one day, and I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!" And they're like, "What?" And I was like, "I want a onesie," and they're like, "Okay." And I'm like, "Well, how much does it cost?" They went, "About $9.99." And of course, we get stuff half price at our workplace. I was like, $4.99 for a onesie, deal. So I got a onesie.
I'll take
I
20.
was like, I have a onesie.
Jeez. Is it like just a regular, just coloured onesie, or is it an animal or something?
Oh no, it's just a regular coloured one. I do have
Okay.
one thing to bring up about onesies, which I really, really hate. The top half being a zip is fantastic, but the zip only goes down so far, and then you realise that it's just really annoying when you go to the bathroom, and it's and it really is. It's just really annoying when you go to the bathroom. You're sitting there, you're like, okay, so I've got to work this out, and you're like, well, a number one is fine, but a number two, oh my god, this is the most awkward thing ever because there's no. You have to, and it's just like, what's the point?
Wait,
You
but
literally
don't
have to take it
onesies-
off, though.
Onesies have like a back port, don't they? At least the
Not my
cartoon
one.
ones.
My one doesn't.
Some of them do. Some of them do, some of them don't. And
Yeah,
it's
some of them
like-
do, some of them don't. Some have the baby butt flap, and some of them don't.
Yeah.
that's no. I wouldn't. No.
Man,
Louise is a big boy.
what a lovely topic to talk about is how to go to the toilet in a onesie.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
I
can
was
talk
about
once.
to. Yeah, I was about to dig further into that, saying that I would not poop in a onesie, but thankfully I did not talk about that.
It's a lot. It's a lot worse when you go to the toilet and you actually have to do a number two, and you're like, okay, so I've got to figure this out. And you've got to think of a strategy to go with it, and you're like, okay, how long have I got between here to get it all undone? And you're like, all right. There's a whole strategy to go with this. I'm not kidding you. There's a whole strategy for the onesie shit.
You know it's bad when you have to go to the bathroom and probably one of the first steps you have to do to take a dump is to get your arms out of the fucking thing you're wearing. You know, that's a problem.
God, yeah, I forgot about that entire part. Yeah, I forgot you actually have to take the arms out first, let it fall to the ground, then you can sit down.
So it's like, wait, step one, get my arms free.
It's,
You know?
to put it in terms of not using a onesie, it's a bit like going to the bathroom and then pulling down shorts and then taking off your shirt at the same time. You're like, okay, that's still not enough. And you're like, oh, all this extra work.
Oh my
I'd
god,
rather
it's like
just shit
writing
my
an essay. Oh, Louise, no, you wouldn't.
Well, the way you guys are describing it sounds like you're getting out of a straitjacket,
Yeah, but it's
like
not that
Houdini
bad.
stuff.
I think it would be easier to go have a shit in a straitjacket.
Damn.
But like, this is like probably the most famous would you rather question. Would you rather go through all the effort of taking off your onesie or shit yourself? I think everyone would take the option of trying to take off the onesie, Luis.
Nah.
Yeah. To be fair, the only reason a straight jacket's easier because at least some people, if they're flexible enough, at least you can undo your jeans and you can just let it slide down. It's just like,
Yeah, you don't have to just worry about your arms.
yeah. That's a bit of a
Jeez.
weird. Oh, also, silence fell across the podcast. Like, yeah.
That wasn't even a long silence. Like,
That wasn't even a silence.
There's some awkward silences, dude. This one hasn't had any yet. We can force one. I mean, I can edit one in, so nah, I'm not even going to bother.
That's work, dude. You don't need to do that. It's fine.
Yeah. I've been tempted when Luis makes a very poor joke to just like go into the editing stages and just make the silence longer and like add crickets in the background.
I was going to say, you need to add the crickets and then you're good.
Otherwise, people think like the podcast is just stopped for some reason.
I've done that so many times. I've made a podcast and I've made a podcast before and it's just like in the background, it's just like a case of you just leaving, like you just edit out a piece of the show and you're like, and you go back to listen and you export and you're like, why is that bit really, really long? And you're like, oh, I've left like a 30-second gap in between. And you're like, oops. Well, shit.
So did you like silence the bit completely and not like remove the gap that you were trying to take out?
The problem is I used to use Camtasia
for
my podcast I don't know, it's kind of on and off at the moment. But Camtasia was basically the fact that every time I deleted a piece of audio, it wouldn't move up together to join. It would just stay. So I would export shows sometimes and I completely forget to put all the audio together, and it'd be like 5 minutes longer than it needs to be because I'm like, uh-oh. Why? Oh, right. Okay, that's my bad. And you look back in the audio line, there's like 40-second, 30-second gaps. I'm like, uh-oh.
And they're spaced all across the recording as well. I hate it when that happens. Can't you use something like Audacity?
I wouldn't use Audacity to edit. I use Audacity to record.
Okay.
The problem I have with recording as well is I love my microphone so much. I haven't found a perfect setup for it yet. I'm on my. Honestly, I've used 2 different pop filters for this microphone, and this is my 4th windshield, and I've got 2 more on the way, and they're going to cost me £30 altogether. They're coming in from America.
Oh, you can tell you're really thinking high of your production quality when you're getting stuff from abroad to come in. Like, I need this product. I don't care that there's none in the UK. I need it.
It's not exactly like it's even that expensive of a piece of equipment. It's literally someone's taken foam, made a U out of it, made a 3D U, basically like an egg that someone just put caramel on the inside, scraped the caramel back up and stuck it like a dome over the top of a microphone, goes, that's worth 15 quid, clearly. And it's like, oh yeah, clearly that's worth 15 quid, where socks will do the exact same job.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh dear.
When it comes to stuff like pop filters, now this is going to sound incredibly contradictory, because I do believe that pop filters are important, but I don't use them, mainly because I think they're overpriced. Like, they really are. Well, they are, because as Stuart just said,
idea.
You can make them out of socks. You can hold a sock up in front of the microphone if you were that worried about it.
Do you know what used to work really well?
What's that?
You used to get, the old wire coat hangers.
Oh, yeah.
You get coat hangers, basically, and then you get tights. So you go into a shop and you have to admit that you've actually gone out and bought tights, unless you steal them. But you get tights, basically, and you can wrap them around, basically, like that circle shape. And if you get enough of them in like a layer section, it basically just makes a pop filter anyway, because they're thin enough that voices can go through. But they're also not as expensive, so you just get a wire hanger, bend it into like a circle kind of, and stick up in front of you, and be like, I made a pop filter.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, there's so many cheaper ways to get around it. The one way that I get around it is I never talk directly into my mic. I just get a condenser mic and I hold it off to the side. And I've never actually spoken directly into it, so if there's any P sounds, it never really affects, it doesn't make that weird noise. I love how we just went on a completely different discussion about sound. By the way, I could talk about this forever.
Oh man, I'll say this though. The microphone I'm using, you know, the ones that they use in verses and stuff like that. You know, those microphones, those ones that kind of, you know, the one that Jeff has like that blue little flashy light in it and stuff like that. Like, it looks really cool, right?
Yeah.
So that's the AT2020 Audio Technica one, and I've got the USB version of that. So rather than like the mixer version, which is a lot clearer, I've got like the cheaper USB version. And I've been looking for the windshield that Gavin has on his for a really long time. Like, Gavin has this giant fur ball on top of his microphone. I'm like, I need one of them. Like, I need that. Because all these ones go like halfway down the microphone and just completely cuts off the rest of the mic. So I have to talk into the top part. Otherwise, you hear every other undetailed thing in the house. So I only talk into half my microphone. I'm like, with this one, I can take up the whole mic again. This will be great.
I think that's my only worry with my microphone. Having a condenser mic, it picks up everything. So
which microphone do you have?
I actually got a really cheap one. There's nothing
doesn't
fancy.
Help.
Yeah, it doesn't help. But it was only something I got for about 30 quid. I think 2 or 3 years ago. It's just a Pro Sound microphone, like a cheap brand one. But for the quality and like the fact that I've used it for almost everything, I think it's well worth the money, you know, and it's a cheaper bargain out there. So for people out there that want to do podcasts and don't want to break the bank buying expensive microphones, go look at Pro Sound. I guess, you know, we're not endorsed by Pro Sound, we're not sponsored by them, but I highly recommend their microphone if you want a cheap mic that's actually decent quality.
But I highly recommend them to, you know, sponsor us.
Yeah, this podcast not sponsored, but sponsored indefinitely for the rest of their time, but not sponsored at the moment.
Pro Sound, if you're hearing this, you know, I give you a nice shout out. Knock a bit of money this way. No, I'm joking. Sell out.
Well, I mean, Miley Cyrus listens to our podcast, right? That's what we got from the last podcast.
Yeah, she's apparently our biggest fan.
I must have missed this. What?
It will be released tomorrow. That's why. Whoops.
Yeah, we have a weird format where we release the episode we recorded last week tomorrow. It's like we record on Saturday but release the podcast on Sunday. But essentially the Miley Cyrus thing was we were having this long discussion about like, do you think she's actually like the way she portrays herself on stage and in performances and stuff like this? And I think after a few comments from Lovely Sins and stuff like that, we just said, you know, well, we might have hurt her feelings because she listens to this podcast. She's our biggest fan and stuff like that. I can't fully remember it entirely because it was last week, but it was certainly funny. I really wish a celebrity secretly listened to us. I didn't even mention like the
shout out to my homeboy Leo DiCaprio.
God damn. But like, I wouldn't even want the publicity from them listening. I would just want them to just be like, yeah, I'm going to listen to these guys. They help me sleep at night. So, Michelle Tello, if you're listening.
Oh, God, no. Michelle Tello, if you listen to our podcast, just stop, okay? Get the fuck out.
Shout out to Steve Buscemi.
Oh, is that the guy?
He doesn't sing crappy songs, so he's cool.
No, but Steve Buscemi's also my doppelganger. I love how I'm not Steve Buscemi's doppelganger. He's my doppelganger.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Is it
clearly I was the actual guy in Reservoir Dogs.
Is that the only thing with Steve Buscemi? Like, ever since Family Guy did like one of their skits of him, that's the only image in my head of him. The like absolutely nutty rendition of him that was in that show, and I always feel like, you know, that's always poor when the one go-to place is basically a bunch of people taking the mick. You know, it's unfortunate. What was I going to say?
Words,
totally.
probably.
Well, of course, words.
Well, you could, I don't know, you could aim your microphone down at your belly button and see what happens.
Do you know what's funny though? The way I'm sitting, it's actually the microphone is in line with my mouth, but if I sat up properly, it would be more in line with the lower half of my chest, so it wouldn't be too far off. I'm just thinking because I've still got the picture of TJ up. How much of a hard time are we going to be giving this guy when he gets back on the podcast?
Oh man, all of it. It'll be a special episode dedicated to throwing TJ under the bus.
I mean, I don't think we need to throw him under the bus after that.
I just really want to know what happened because I don't know. I got the feeling that Jack was involved with this somehow.
Shout out to TJ's brother.
I haven't heard of any protests in Florida, so...
Hey!
Gaff!
Hello there.
So, hello everyone.
Welcome to the Shifty Key Podcast.
I'm Luis, aka SpartanSloth, and today we have... Gaff.
I'm Gaff.
Yay!
So, quick explanation. Don't worry, you didn't interrupt anything important, Gaff. Gaff was an invited guest that couldn't join us at the very beginning. So she hasn't just kicked down the door and broken into the channel and decided to start recording with us. We knew she was coming. I have to ask though, are you using your new mic?
No, I just spent the last 10 minutes trying to figure it out, but I'm just like, fuck it, I'll do it another time. So, here
Really?
I am.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Right.
You have a new microphone and this is like the perfect chance to use it. That must suck.
Well, I didn't know, like, I didn't want to mess anything up trying to test it out during the podcast, so...
Yeah, like, your voice goes from brilliant quality to low quality again, it's back and forth.
Well, the worst thing that could have happened is if your voice became like a duck's voice.
A dog's voice?
Yeah, you know how in the news when they try to conceal someone's identity and they fuck up their voice and they just end up sounding like a duck? Or is that just here in Brazil?
I don't know. Like, they do similar things, you know, when people want to remain, you know, what's the word I'm looking for?
Well, let's just say
Secret.
that the person's going like, the guy who fired the gun was a tall man. Then they go like, the guy who fired the gun is a tall man.
They turn into an old granny?
Either that or a duck. Don't forget, I'm lying on my belly, so
Yeah.
everything sounds weird.
That wasn't his best granny voice.
Nope.
Nah, you can do better granny voices than I can do better granny voices than that.
I was
Your
about to
face
do
is
a
better.
really, really old guy impression there, and I thought I better not.
That like a really humble old man that likes cranberries.
I have no idea, to be honest. I have no idea how mine actually sounds. I'm just like, I was about just going to a random. I was like, I'm just going to go off on one and just see how it goes.
Peer pressure, peer pressure, peer
Nah,
pressure,
you
peer
can't
pressure.
do that. Peer pressure on a podcast? What's the example you're trying to set here?
The peer pressure example, peer pressure, peer pressure.
Gosh, damn it. Oh my god. So we need to put this in the link shed up because Stuart just sent us a link to a Twitter post of him and Steve Buscemi. I said his name wrong. Someone else say it because I can't say it.
Or Steve Buscemi.
That's the one.
Buscemi, yeah.
It sounds like there's an R there, and it's really not for
Yeah,
me.
here we say Buscemi.
But I'm
I'm
sure
just
he
an
says
idiot.
it's Steve Buscemi.
Buscemi.
I'm sure he,
Okay.
I'm sure he just says it however he wants.
Buscemi.
Yeah.
There we go. Speech therapy class over. Right, but yeah, it's a picture of the two of them stacked side by side. And I gotta say, I can see the similarities, especially in the facial hair.
Bear in mind, that picture's like 6 months old at that point. But
You've not got the same mustache then.
Dude, speaking of famous actors and stuff, I saw this week that you guys know the Jimmy Fallon show?
Kind of.
Did you watch the episode or the YouTube video they released that it seems like he once had a chance with Nicole Kidman and he didn't realize it and he blew it big time?
What?
I've seen that video on like the homepage of YouTube, but I haven't been bothered to click on it.
Man, it is so funny. It's like back a few years ago, or a lot of years ago, I don't know. It seems like one of their mutual friends introduced Jimmy Fallon to Nicole Kidman. And the guy was like, so I'm taking her to your apartment, so you guys can chat and all that. And Jimmy Fallon thought it was something about a role for a movie or whatever. And then like he just fucked up the whole thing. And he didn't realize back then, but then she went to his show years later and said that she thought it was a date. And he was just stunned, like he could not continue the interview properly.
Aww.
Yeah. Dude, I'll just bash my head into the desk if I knew that was what happened. Damn it, I had a chance with Nicole Kidman.
That sounds like something I would do. Just fucking, just completely be. I don't know what's wrong. I'm forgetting words left, right, and centre today.
See,
But,
that's the perfect example. That's what you'd
yeah.
be like. You'd just be fumbling over your words. And
Yeah. But
you
like,
didn't need to say anything else. You were doing a perfect impression.
if someone goes up to me afterwards and goes, "Oh yeah, I was trying to be like, that was a date and shit," I would just be like, "No, really?" And just kind of collapse into like my old Tyler self of just being really awkward and just trying to hide in a shadow or something.
That's the sort of thing, like, would you guys rather know you once had a chance with, let's say, Nicole Kidman, or would you just prefer to live your lives and, like, that's it, not knowing that?
Let's make this not specifically about Nicole Kidman.
Okay,
like, just
yeah,
anyone.
Anyone, yeah, because, yeah.
Nothing against Nicole Kidman, but I thought it would be a bit difficult for Gaff to answer this question. Just saying. It would be a
It can
different
be
answer
Arnold
completely.
Schwarzenegger, Gaff, okay.
I don't know. Like, if I blew my chance and they said, you had a chance with me, I guess I would just... I guess I would want to know, just so I could learn from it.
It's like, what went wrong that night that I can learn from? It's like, well, you set the house on fire. Good start, good start.
What didn't I pick up on? What signals did I miss?
Body language, the fact that she should have tried to kiss you, and be like, oh, okay.
And that's the thing. I can miss out on signals very easily. Like, I'm an idiot. I'm very oblivious. That was the word that I was trying to find when it comes to dating someone. I could just be chilling with someone and just think like it's, hanging out like a friend or whatever. And then realize, wait a minute, was that just a regular occurrence, like chilling with them, or was that a date? Shit, I think she might have thought that was a date.
Wait,
totally
if the
blew my
person
chance.
hands you an exotic weapon, then it's not an ordinary occurrence, but otherwise it might be. My suggestion is, and here's a PSA for all our listeners, be direct, okay? Don't just expect people to figure out what the fuck is going on through your mind. I mean, there are cases that is appropriate, like when you look for... I don't know where I'm going with this. Just when you're trying to date someone, be direct, okay? You don't need to take your clothes off to say you're interested in a person.
Yeah.
But, tricking helps. Anyway.
For fuck's sake, no, it doesn't. Twerking, the number one way to a man's heart. No.
Or to a woman's heart. Come on, Tyler. Are you really going to tell me you're never twerked for someone?
Yes. Now,
Oh,
imagine a 6'4" person trying to twerk his thin ass. It doesn't work. Why would I twerk? It doesn't work. Oh,
That's what I kind of imagine Stephen Merchant doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ick. Why did we go from like really inappropriate dating advice to twerking? Because
do you know what I've now got in my head? Do you know what I've now got in my head? I've now got Stephen Merchant dressed in the anaconda costume.
oh no.
Oh god. That's a good question. Have you guys ever twerked for someone?
No.
I don't think I can twerk. I've never tried. I could put both feet behind my head. I guess that has its advantages.
I think
I've never tried.
Yeah, I think everyone in this room, unless Louise, have you twerked?
Nah.
Well, then everyone in this room probably hasn't even tried.
Homework, kids.
No.
More like home twerk, am I right? Ew! Thank you.
You're going to end the podcast and you're going to be like, right, everyone, seriously, we have to start twerking. This is the only way we're going to survive as a podcast. Nah. I would let the podcast disappear at that point. I'd rather not twerk. Sorry, Louise.
Just face the black. Just face the black laws and do butt cheeks just come up on the YouTube video and it's like
God.
Oh, that would be brilliant.
But with that dating advice thing from earlier, I wouldn't say being direct is the way to go. Being respectable is certainly a way to go, and being
definitely.
smooth and suave is the way to go. Direct
Just be clear.
Is scary. Yeah.
I mean, not necessarily like wave your genitalia, whether you're a man or a woman, at someone's face. That's not what I meant. But be clear. Don't be like, well, I breathed near that person, so they obviously know that I'm interested. Well, no shit, everyone breathes, So that kind of signal doesn't really work.
The way I waved my hand at him as he left was a sign. Oh, was it? Shit, I've been missing out on this signal for years. I don't know. It's not about being direct, it's just about being clear.
Twerking.
No, and definitely no twerking.
Damn it. I've been doing it all wrong. I don't know.
Louise, how are you going to twerk with your coccyx in pain?
Dude, that's the worst part of it all.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, never mind the pain and all that. Just the fact that I can't twerk. Jesus.
Heck, I'm scared now. We should change the subject from twerking.
Yeah, hey Gaff, what are you up to?
What am I up to?
Yeah.
Humming.
Becoming a werewolf, got it.
Yep.
For some reason, now this is going to sound incriminating, but that hum was the same that everyone does when they're trying not to be suspicious. So, she's planning a bank robbery or something. Like, what are you up to? Nothing.
Hides the bank's blueprint.
Yeah. They will never find out. That was a very poor Gaff impression.
Yeah, Gaff definitely sounds like that. Just kidding, Gaff, you don't.
I don't think my voice could go high enough to do an impression.
Yeah, you can try. All of you try and sound like a girl right now.
Oh, well, man, this could go so wrong.
Yeah.
You have to give us a sentence or something that you have to give us a sentence and a name, and then we have to try and say it back to you as a girl.
We do have the Bigara HK evidence.
Wait.
I do at least.
He's got an easy way out. You're not allowed to do you're not allowed to do Takeshita's voice. You can't do that.
You fucking what, mate?
You can't do that.
There you go.
What?
That's the only one I got.
It surprisingly, with context and with all the panels of the woman being there and stuff like that, and the visual character being there, it actually works for me, that voice.
I can make a lady's voice.
My favourite voice to do, I'm not entirely sure if it's the ladies one, but it's the voice that really made Louise uncomfortable a few weeks ago. I don't think we discussed it on the podcast, but I kept on being like, yeah. That's him, and he was like,
fuck you, Tyler.
What?
I kept on
Tyler
saying
sounds
words.
like he's shitting himself. Just makes me uncomfortable.
I kept on saying stuff like really slowly and trying to get like a rasp in there, and it really made him uncomfortable. And it was like, yeah. And he's like,
he's
stop
shitting.
it!
Ooh, you touch my tra-la-la. My ding-ding-dong.
Well, I haven't heard you guys try to do a girl's voice yet. Trying to pass it on to make sure everyone else goes first.
Well, you guys go.
I can give it a fair shot, but I don't think it's going to come across well on the microphone, and I don't think it's going to be particularly good. I can give it a shot, though. Hang on.
Ooh, pressure.
FYI, Gaff, you're gonna have to do the same thing, but a male's voice.
Yeah, but that's gonna be like. Here's the thing: for women to do men's voices, it's very easy for them.
What are you implying?
Well, we
Tyler?
can't go as high as you. You
We
guys
can't
can
go as low as
low.
you.
Wow, Tyler, shut up. That is wrong. Oh my god.
No.
Let me go find something to read, and I'll come back in a second with a girl's impression. Hang on.
But
Okay.
here's the thing I was trying to make a point of, and Gaff will definitely agree with me. And if you don't agree with me, you're just trying to make me feel wrong. In anime, how many men have done women's voices? Not that many. How many women can do male voices? Quite a lot.
No, here's the thing. You are not taking into account the fact that they are young boys that they're doing, not grown men.
But young boys are still males.
They're males, but you said men. A man is a grown male.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's an example of someone. I'm trying to think of desperately of one, but all I can think of is like, shit. No, I can't think of any. Shit.
Tyler, are you
That's right, you
trying to
can't.
convince us that you were a grown man when you were only 10?
No.
This shit again, Tyler. Really?
Again?
Okay, so I have something to read.
Oh gosh.
No, all I have in my head now is the Aqua song Barbie Girl, and it's really funny.
The thing I'm worried about is when he went off to get a script, did you actually like go away to find the nearest woman to come in and be like, look, pretend to be me when you read this out, you know?
Oh,
So
no.
you've got someone
When I
there.
go in... No. When I say I'm going to do something, man, we follow through with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Sylvester Stallone is Rocky Balboa in a role hailed as a once-in-a-lifetime coming together of man and material. Los Angeles Times.
Like, there's parts of it that I can hear, like, that work, but unfortunately you still got, like, the bassy part of the voice still there.
Now the original Rocky winner of 3 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, and his equally powerful and
That's
action-based
it.
successors are presented with their best ever picture and sound in the Rocky Undisputed Collection.
Undisputed. I can do a woman's voice, but unfortunately it's not exactly a proud one. I've done it on the podcast before. I remember I scared the shit out of Nick with it. It was that, oh my god, the really over the top,
Like,
Valley
oh
Girl?
my gosh.
oh my
really,
god,
did
like
you
the other day, like, did you see that? And yeah, it's like that voice. But I can go on, but I just don't know
Tyler-
where to go. My brain doesn't think quickly enough to improvise.
In an alternate universe where there's a female version of you, you
Yeah.
must be such an annoying girl.
Yeah! Oh my god! Let's not do that.
I want to see the alternate reality where the head and the genitalia are replaced with each other. And I like to see,
Why?
Whoa!
so I want to see someone walking around trying on suits in a shop and their zipper just covers their mouth and their nose.
Oh, Jesus. At least you can actually call the person a dickhead.
Oh.
Hey, as a man whose last name is Cox, I take that as a serious offence. I'm joking, I don't really. I've had to live my life with so many dick jokes. It's great. But no, seriously, that'd be a really cool thing to go do. Is like you go to an alternate reality. It's like, where's everyone's heads? And it's just like genitalia just flapping in the way. It's like, blah, 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 blah.
I'm not entirely sure.
Can you imagine the world record for highest urination?
Unfortunately, I can.
There's
That's
like
the
a guy in
problem.
the Ukraine who's like 7'6", and he's just got like this huge and he just lays it over, and he's just like, time to let out the stream, and it just goes
God.
everywhere.
No. Oh, Luis, you're not getting out of this. You have to do a
Imagine-
woman's voice.
I just did.
You can't do Takeshita's voice. You can't do that.
That's the only one I got.
Try just doing the same equivalent voice to what mine was then.
Oh God. Okay.
You'll
Valley
like
girl.
it. Valley girl. Yeah.
Oh, Tyler, you're such a bitch.
No,
I
no.
don't fucking know.
Oh my god.
I got the feeling that I'm only just doing high notes at that point. You know, like the Pikachu voice that I used to do all the fucking time.
That's her.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, let's just say if I drunk a lot of water. Pikachu! You can go much higher.
I used to watch. I still watch Pokemon. This is the sad thing. I still watch Pokemon. I've seen up to the Black and White. No, Pokemon X and Y episodes. I still watch it.
I dropped off after like the first generation, after the first film.
After the first five series where it all fell apart afterwards, yeah. I still watch it for nostalgia because it's just still one of those things where like I could never be as dumb in some
The very
situations
best.
as Ash Ketchum. It's like Ash Ketchum after what 10, 16, 17 series still doesn't know how to fight Pokemon. I'm pretty sure after 17 years, I'm pretty sure I would get the hang of it. And I wake up, I'm like, he's still 10 years old. Nope. Don't believe that for a second. Oh, it's fantastic.
You know, I never really got too much into Pokemon when I was a kid because...
Or any anime.
No, I did enjoy watching Dragon Ball, to be honest. But here, when Pokemon was a thing, Digimon was also a thing.
Ah,
And
Digimon was
so-
awesome.
I watched a lot
Depending
more
on
of
what season.
Digimon. Especially the first season, because the rest were kind of shitty. Instead of Pokemon. So my knowledge of Pokemon is very little. And Gaff, your male's voice. You're not getting away.
No.
Please,
No, I
please say
can't
that you're
do
going to
it.
come out with like a Liam Neeson impression.
What? I don't know what to say.
Just, we'll give you a random sentence. Just say, I'm Jack and I'm here to fight. There you go.
Oh my god! I just practiced it and I made myself laugh. Okay. I'm Jack and I'm here to fight.
It wasn't that bad.
Stupid.
I mean, it wasn't that bad.
Oh gosh, I'm just thinking of Digimon now, and can I just say, tie with Sora.
Yes.
I mean,
What?
what was the whole? Do you remember like the second season, season or series or whatever the fuck it was? Essentially, Sora gets with what's his name, the not Tai. She gets with Matt, right? Or Matt?
Yeah.
Nah, that's not how that should have gone. That was like the only thing in anime history that I shipped that should have been a thing.
You know, it should have been a thing.
Tai and Sora.
No, tie in that Digimon that was like a palm.
Wasn't like a pom, the little pink thing.
Well, but the evolved version, like with the thorns and all that. I totally forgot the name of it. The cactus. Yes.
Oh,
that
the
should have been a
cactus.
thing. Yes. Would you
It's
guys
weird.
bang a cactus? Anyway.
No.
I-
No way.
I can remember like the Digimon, but I can't remember their names and
Yeah,
who
me
they
neither.
belong
It's been
to.
a long time.
Wait, did you just ask the question? Would you bang a cactus?
Did.
Yeah, that's
If
how
you paid
Lewis
me
is.
enough money, I probably would.
Whoa,
No,
really?
I no.
Because hang
Think
on,
of your
hang on.
junk.
There's a reason why. There are some cacti out there with some very, very, very short pricks, and it wouldn't be as bad. Otherwise, you've got like the really long needles, and that will spell really bad consequences.
Well, as males, it'd be better for you because you could just poke a hole in it and it's not pokey on the inside. right?
Yeah, exactly. We have a slightly easier way of doing this. As for the opposite gender, it's
Yeah,
not
I'm
exactly. There's no easy way around it. Well, Luis, well done. You now made everyone think about fucking cactuses. Well done.
Yes! My job here is done. Speaking of cacti, you guys want to do questions? Best segue
Yeah.
ever.
That was the best segue ever. Yes, okay, sure, we'll go with that. That's cool.
Luis.
Tyler,
Yes.
if you say yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
fucking punch you. Go fuck yourself. Okay. I got the questions. Yeah.
Dude.
But before we start, questions.
Yay.
Oh shit, that actually hurt me.
Fucking hell, like, this is a sign. Maybe, with
Oh,
the 50th...
shut up. I'm
The 50th
recovering.
podcast is coming up. We need to change it up eventually, right?
Jam did request for a theme song, but, the audience likes it, I'm sure. Miley Cyrus likes it.
I've heard no feedback from the audience that says anyone wants to like it. Anyway,
My homeboy Leo DiCaprio likes it as well, so... Okay, this question is by Nick Gons, and he asks, if white wine goes with fish, do white grapes go with sushi?
Wait, I
Yes.
didn't know that. That's usually my reaction to those questions, but white wine, does it actually go with fish?
I believe so.
I don't know.
So if you had red wine with it, with fish at a popular fancy restaurant, people will look at you like, what the fuck are you doing?
Probably.
Oh, man.
You will be judged.
Yeah, I could never be in a fancy restaurant for that exact reason. Like all the forks and knives and stuff, I know which order they're supposed to be in and stuff, but I would just be eating with the biggest fucking fork, making an ass of myself in front of everyone. But yeah, question. I'm gonna say yes.
I'm gonna say potato.
Love it. I would say I don't think they would.
Sushi and grapes, did he say, go well together? I mean, it's not going to be offensive to the tongue, is it? Really?
Well, isn't there a reason why that white wine goes with fish? Isn't there an actual reason behind it? It's not just like someone just went, oh yeah, it goes with this. Isn't there an actual reason behind it?
I don't even
God.
know if it's a thing. I've only learned about it just now.
Yeah,
if it is a thing.
I didn't either. I think it's bullshit.
I'm not posh enough to know about these kind of things.
Gaff
Not
is
posh
Gaff.
enough yet. Wait,
It's because Gaff hasn't answered yet, so... Gaff, do you know
She was
if
the
this
first
is
answer.
a thing? Yeah, but I trust Gaff more than I trust you for such matters.
fair point.
I don't know. Like, I know some people do certain meals with wine because it's sort of, what's the word, like a sensory kind of thing. It sort of enhances the flavors of whatever you're eating or whatever, something like that. Like wine and chocolate.
Now it just sounds like a drug. It improves your senses. Well,
Well, the only
See,
thing
this is why you can't be fancy, Tyler.
yeah. I've
'Cause
ruined it
if-
for myself.
the only thing I can think of with that is the reason why wine goes with fish is because it's the way that the preparation's done on the fish. But other than that, I would say any wine goes with any fish if you do the fish right.
If you do the fish right, anything's right. I mean, as long as you got
First-
a meal.
First you need to caress a fish, then whisper in its ear that you love it, and then you can do the fish right.
I don't think you're talking about the same fish that we're
Then look
thinking about.
longingly into its eye.
I don't think I'm talking about doing the fish in the same sense you guys are.
Yeah, no, I was on board with what you're talking about. Doing the fish.
I like how
My
Gaff
God.
went along with the joke. Thank you, Gaff.
You're welcome.
I'm scared of this place.
See, that's why I trust Gaff more than I trust you for such matters, Tyler.
Thanks.
She understands me when it comes to food and doing food. What? Next question.
Yay!
This one is by Sunday88P, and he asks, Would you rather die young as a beloved person, or be immortal and have everyone hate you out of jealousy?
Oh, Christ. But if you're immortal, can you work under an alias so no one knows the stuff you're doing? Or is it like whatever you touch, people are going to hate it, even if your identity is masked?
Tyler, I
What?
just read the questions, man. I don't make them.
Well, here's my theory. Like, I would, I don't like the idea of immortality, but I don't want to die young. But
Well,
here's the
tell you
thing.
what, should we put an age on this? How old is dying young?
Yeah.
90.
90 is dying young.
That's dying young?
Well, compared to eternity, yeah.
That's older than our average age over here. Our expiration date's around
How
80.
about we say 35 is dying young? 35. So would you rather die at 35 and be loved by everyone? Or would you rather die... Oh, no, you wouldn't die, sorry. Or would you rather be immortal and everybody hates you?
Yeah, screw the haters. I'd probably choose to live forever.
Yeah, but the thing is, that would get on my nerves for a long... You know, imagine it. Like, you live forever, but everyone hates everything you do and everything you stand for no reason except for the fact that they have to hate you. That would
No,
be
I
annoying.
think you're taking this on the wrong side, Tyler. The question says everyone hate you out of jealousy, just because you live like forever.
Yeah, so basically
So
everyone
eventually
around
those
you
people will die as well. So
Yeah.
screw it.
Yeah, so it's basically this. It's what I like is with that question. I like the idea of dying young and being beloved, but I also like the idea of having the longest career of anybody and just having all these records broken. It's like nobody's gonna beat my record now. Like I have all these years to get all the Guinness World Book of Records, like first man ever to jump off a building and live kind of record. It's like that's my record, that's my
Yeah.
record, that's my record, that's my record. And you just open it up and it's just like, that's my record. And they go, shut up. And I was like, no, that's me.
Someone breaks your record and the next day you immediately get on it to break it again.
Yeah, because it's like, well, he'll be dead in 50 years. I can do this. So it's like, I've got eternity. But no.
Enjoy 50 years of fame, bitch.
Well, hang on. Here's the thing, though. If people around you die of jealousy, does that mean that you can still have a kid? Because then the kid will grow up to hate you. The fact that then you'll see like all your family members passing by, and
Yeah,
you're like,
that's the negative of immortality. That like
It's
your
like-
family will hate you and they will also die around you. And
but this will be really sad. Imagine this: your entire bloodline dies out, and then you start the bloodline back up. So you are essentially the beginning of the family tree again. And it's like, what?
oh gosh,
So then you have to
guys
start
are
this family tree all over
overanalyzing
again,
this.
and it's like, I am the grandfather, the father. Oh, that's
Ugh.
weird.
the thing that I would do if I had immortality would just be training like every day. Well, I don't even think you would have to train every day, but I would. No, not fapping. That would be a waste of time. But if you're immortal, then who cares? But the thing I would do, because I'm a musician, I would just make loads and loads of music and also practice every
You said
instrument.
loads.
Yeah, I did. Want to make something of it, but I would just be like training myself to, play every instrument as best as it possibly can be. And you would have
Fapping still
years.
qualifies, you know.
No, it doesn't. But
with
you
your
would have years over
instrument.
everyone else.
Making loads and loads with it.
I'm shaking
Sounds
my
like
head at
fun.
There
you.
is the
to
other
me.
side to this question too. There is the other side to this question, which hasn't been taken into account yet. Do you get to a certain age and then one day someone comes up to you and goes, okay, from this point on, from this age on, now you're immortal? Or are you just born and there's like you're a little kid running around and you're just completely immortal? It's like people are just chucking this baby off of roofs. It's like, fly, my child.
I was gonna ask, like, with immortality, are you also eternally young?
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Like, is there
Yeah,
an
'cause-
age to this as well? Because there's the other side of the coin is, do you get to an age and then you're immortal, or are you just young immortal? Like,
Because
The
I
age
guess
we
it
are
would
now.
suck, like being immortal but being less than 21, let's say. But it would also suck if you were to be immortal, but growing older and older and older until you're like 1,000 years old, and you're just
because you
like,
would rot.
you're pretty much a rotten person.
He's just a skeleton walking around. That'd be a great Halloween costume, no?
Yeah, man, Halloween, you'd get like all the candies.
That's a great costume. Thanks, I designed it over years and years of practice. It's like
It took me thousands of years to make it, right? But yeah, I'd say that if you were to start your immortality at some point you can choose, or at some point you're still somewhat young, that would be okay.
I would be happy being an immortal, like, Olympic sprinter. Like, and like in the peak of your life at like 23, 24 years of age at like optimum fitness levels, and you're an Olympic sprinter. And because you're just, and at that point, you're just going to get fitter and fitter and fitter. And you're going to do like the 100 meters in like what? Like a second. It'd be like, boom.
It's like every year, like, people just don't even fucking bother to compete. Like, it's just like, well, he's going to win. He's been doing the same thing for 300 years.
And that's why people would hate you.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn it, here comes that guy again.
I've been a
Fucking
professional
twat.
footballer for 1,500 years, I may add. Look at my entire trophy collection.
Yeah, like, I've scored this many goals for this many clubs. It's like, they keep on, like, they want to sell you because they can't stand you, but you keep on going to, like, Premier League teams and stuff like that. So they keep on getting passed around.
Best player, again, for 100 years straight. Nice.
Employee of the month, and the year, and the decade, and the century. Why am I your boss? Like, I just thought of that, like...
Okay then, so...
Did any of us actually give an answer to that? I don't think we did.
so.
I think we
I
should
did.
just give
Discussed it.
hypothetical questions. And not... I'll answer. I'll say I would rather die young and be beloved.
I would... I'm scared of immortality. Like, there's a part of me that would be like, that's awesome, but there's so many things that are negative about it as well, and you would get bored and everything like that, but I wouldn't want to die young either. Fuck it, I'll go for immortality. Most people hate me already anyway.
I don't know. I kind of feel the same way, where being immortal would be so awesome, but I don't want to outlive everyone I love and care about and just go on without them, and everyone also hates you too. So I'd probably go with young and loved.
Just clone them, Gaff. Jesus,
I'll
you'll
just
have that
do
power.
that.
You live
I will
forever.
just
Save
do
DNA.
that, won't I?
just save their DNA, you have the eternity to figure out how to clone a person properly, and there you go.
Oh, as soon as they like come out of their little tube, they're gonna hate me.
Not necessarily.
Gav, why did you bring me back?
Because I love you. And then
That would
just
make a good
hug the
anime.
person. Oh, shut up.
It would make a great anime.
I agree, it would make a good anime.
My idea, so it would actually make a great Rule 34. Don't ask.
No.
Okay, so one more, and this one is by TJ1023, also known as the guy who managed to get black into his eyes. Oh, did you? Anyway, his question is:
What a
are you
jerk.
addicted to anything?
Hugs.
Are we what, sorry?
Are you addicted to anything?
Am I addicted to anything?
Hugs. And coffee. Recently.
I'm just trying to think about that. What's the difference between addiction, between the addiction and just like habits that you pick up? Because, for example, I get like when I'm not playing Xbox and I'm at work, for example, I get like idle hands where like we get like a couple of breaks, and I'll start like chewing my fingernails. I don't eat the nail or anything. I just bite my nails. I have a habit. Would you count as an addiction over a number of years? 'Cause I've been doing that since I was like 13.
No, I think that's more of a habit than an
Okay.
addiction.
In that
Yeah,
case,
I
then
think
I don't have
addictions-
any addictions. I'm clean.
It's more like if you can't not do coke for 20 minutes, you know.
You don't do coke for 20 minutes.
That being said, I don't think I have any addictions. Like, I really like candy, but it's not like I would start scratching myself and getting anger fits just because I can't have a candy near me. So, nah.
I have an addiction to oxygen. I mean, I can't go a couple seconds without breathing. Oh my
Boo.
Shut
god.
up.
That wasn't even a pun and I got the shut up treatment.
Thank you, Gaff.
You're welcome.
Mm.
Shut up, Tyler.
You shut your mouth, Tyler.
Shut your dirty, filthy mouth, Tyler. Okay, fine.
What about you, Gaff?
I think, okay, after every meal that I have, I need to have a sweet after it. Like a chocolate, a little piece of candy, just something sweet after every meal I have. Though it's not necessarily like one thing, like I always gotta have chocolate. Like that's not true. Just a sweet.
Yeah, I think yours would fall under my category, which is not exactly an addiction, but yeah, you're clean pretty much. As long as
I'm
your
clean.
candy is not like, crack.
Whoa.
Crack cocaine.
Yeah, as long as you're not doing cocaine. Sorry.
Cocaine.
That's Arnold Schwarzenegger for you. Can't remember what film it's from.
All of them. Alright then, so before we wrap up, Stuart, we do this thing in which we ask a question for the audience so they can answer us. And we usually leave that to our newest guest, so you can go ahead and ask a question. Anything your heart desires.
I can ask a question?
Oh.
To the audience. So be polite, be clean. Actually, no, we can't say that.
Oh, a question for the audience. Now the mind boggles. You say keep it clean, right?
Well, you don't have
Nah,
to.
just don't tell them to fuck themselves because they're lovely.
Love
you,
Or
audience.
anything goat related.
Or anything what not related? What?
Anything goat related is not allowed. That's a rule I've just made
so
now.
Taylor Swift can't come into it then. I would say I'm trying to think of the Gav mentality here. Okay, this is pure Gav. If you ate your tongue, what would it taste like?
What if? Yeah. Well,
Because your tongue's got taste buds on it, right? So if you ate the tongue, how would it taste?
Okay, I get the question now.
but
Yeah.
you wouldn't be able to
Yeah.
taste it because.
Think about it. Because
Don't answer now, Tyler.
yeah.
Think it over. Alright then, so everyone, thank you so much for listening. Stuart, thank you so much for being with us today.
No problem at all.
Gav,
Thank you very
you
much for having
too.
me.
Yeah, sorry for being very late.
Nah, that's okay. And don't forget, guys, to listen to the outro, because, you can learn how to interact with us. And until the next week, say no to crack.
PSA brought to you by the Shifty Keys. Bye!
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Oh my god.
Thanks for listening to the Shifty Key Podcast. The intro and outro music is provided to us by our editor, TDBTyler. To get more involved with the Shifty Key Podcast, you can answer the questions for the audience asked by our guests, or even ask the cast a question of your very own, either here in the YouTube comments or in our Rooster Teeth group. To keep updated with this channel's shenanigans, you can follow us on Twitter, join and watch our group on Rooster Teeth, or simply subscribe. All links will be in the description. Until next week, goodbye.
Alright, so guys, since we're wrapped up, I'm truly sorry. I'll be back later, I guess, but right now I gotta leave because I need to go to the hospital again.
That's okay, dude. Get your coccyx sorted. But one thing,
gotta switch
what the fuck?
bandages.
You sign off every time. You're like, thanks for coming, guests. You, Tyler. You never bring me up at the end.
Because you're part of the main crew.
I'm
Yeah,
not,
you're not
and-
special. You're not special.
And it's part of the asshole treatment.
But here's the thing: I'm not part of the main crew because I'm not an admin.
If that's a problem, I can make you an admin.
But I don't want to be an admin.
Anyway,
What do you want then? Oh my
I just
god.
wanted some no. I don't
just
know what I
wants to be
want.
loved. Okay,
I just
really,
wanna
guys.
have hugs.
We can have this discussion later, Tyler. I really gotta go. So, see everyone, guys. Once again, thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.